Welcome back, everybody. Today we are reviewing a film at the London Film Festival with the BFI for 2020. It's another round today. I'm once again delighted to welcome back Dina, who just called me stable and strong.
I did, yes, because I said I jiggle about too much. I'm all fidget pants and you're all nice and strong and stable and calm.
I love it. If only people watching could see what just happened just before we started recording. The first 10 minutes.
It's all showbiz, darling. It's all perfect. What are you talking about?
Do you want to explain what happened? We were trying to set up tech, weren't we, with your Skype?
Oh, yeah. With my other half, it was like carry on camera, honestly.
It was brilliant.
They never do your other halves, do they? What you want them to do is it's all last minute and then we couldn't log in and then we knocked over the tripod and we knocked over the iPad and had a little domestic. It's all fine now.
It was a comedy moment. I think it's quite apt, though, because it's apt when you think about the movie that you're reviewing today, isn't it? Because you both acted a bit drunk.
I think it might be better if I'd had some of what they have in the movie. But yeah, it's a Danish film. And I have to take my glasses off because I can't see my notes because it's distance glasses.
It's a good look.
Directed by Thomas Vinterberg, and it's probably one of his lighter works, actually. It's basically, the premise is this. It doesn't sound very exciting. 4 white, middle-class, middle-aged guys who are basically stuck in a rut. They're all teachers. And one of them's a philosophy teacher, and he basically tells them that this is a philosopher who has this theory that the human race go through life with too low a blood alcohol content. So they decide to try an experiment and keep their blood alcohol combination, you know what I mean? They need to keep the blood alcohol limit at a certain level. So basically it has to just be blutered all the time. So they have to drink all day.
I love it.
But not go over a certain level. So they're not really allowed to get totally whatever. They just have to maintain this level. So the idea is that because their lives are all quite boring and they feel they've lost the young men they used to be, it's all kind of triggered by Nicholas, who's the youngest. It's his 40th birthday party, and the other guys kind of, I think, feel they're losing their youth, they've lost their spirit, so they all hope that by taking this little bit of alcohol every day that it will improve their lives. So it starts off as an experiment. There's obvious roads that this film could go down.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, because but what's great about this film is that I think our relationship with alcohol in the West is a very delicate balance. And this film pretty much reflects this. Because so it follows 4 men. The main man is Martin, who's a history teacher, who's got a wife, 2 children. He feels the spark's gone out of his marriage. His history students are all like, well, we're going to fail because you don't make anything interesting and you don't care about us. So the minute he starts to drink just that little bit, then he becomes a really interesting history teacher, he becomes a better lover, he becomes a better father. It's all great. But obviously things aren't going to be great the whole way through, because that would be given the message as in if we're all a little bit pissed every day, life would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it doesn't go down the very obvious route of they all become alcoholics. That's what I was worried about. The outcome of the experiment for the 4 guys is very different, and eventually the experiment ends. I won't tell you why. The actual story and the characterization and the humorous moments in the film, I mean, we can all identify. Anybody who's even had the slightest bit of alcohol in their lives can identify, I think, with the feelings that you get, and then that feeling that, I'm maybe just gone a wee bit too far.
Gone over the edge.
But it's a really interesting film. And like I say, you wouldn't think a film about 4 middle-aged, middle-class white guys would be as interesting. But it really is. And the fact that they're teachers as well, because really teachers shouldn't be going into the classroom drunk. And I won't tell you what the one teacher encourages one of the students to do before an exam. But it seems to work anyway.
Well, you would think that obviously with alcohol, some people kind of need quite a lot to lower their inhibitions. And I suppose, is it more about that rather than kind of going to the extreme of drinking too much? Because you would think, this could be a riot. This could be a really funny film. Is it a comedy drama or is it drama?
It's a comedy drama.
Right.
It's not a comedy. But it does have some funny moments. The philosopher whose theories they're examining is called Finn Skådervold. He was a Norwegian philosopher. So it is based on actual fact, this guy believed that our blood alcohol level was about 5% too low. So basically, I'm not giving everybody an excuse to go out and like get totally happy tonight, but basically that's the theory of the film. So they do it like an experiment. But I hear Teddy in the background.
Yeah, I've just dipped my volume down because he's got a bit bizarre. Any mention of alcohol and he's there, he's piping up. He wants some of it.
It's like his dad.
He does take after me quite many ways, actually. So I suppose it's difficult to talk about without spoiling too much, because it sounds like the kind of film that I think that the less you know about it, the more you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, because I think if you're going with any preconceptions, you'd be disappointed, because I only knew a little bit about the film. But I think if somebody had said to me, it's just about four guys going about their daily lives with a wee bit of booze, you'd think, But it's actually really interesting. And it really does examine our relationship with alcohol, examines male friendship, which I think is really quite rare in films. Just four guys in their 40s and 50s that have been friends. When I was watching that, I was really struck by the fact that you don't see many films that actually show this deep male bond and friendship that they had, because the chemistry between the four guys is really good, really strong. And I think it was more noticeable for me because it's not something that I'm used to seeing to that level. So the actual friendship between the guys, because the women are very much the kind of side characters in this. The main characters are the four men, and it doesn't lose anything for that. I think it gains it. And I think it's a really good examination of male friendship, of a relationship with alcohol, misspent youth, or dreaming of a youth that you feel you've lost, and can you recapture, and middle age and all that kind of thing. But it's done in a really quite a warm-hearted way. I was expecting maybe something a bit darker from Vinterberg, but actually it was quite good. And of course, it's got Mads Mikkelsen as Martin, who's pretty much the title role out of the four guys. The main
he's great
protagonist out of the four guys. So you can't really go wrong. But the cast is really good. It's very much an ensemble piece, and every part of that ensemble is very strong. So I really enjoyed it.
I guess that's the really interesting aspect of this whole story, the whole idea behind this movie as well, because like you say, when you think about women and men and how different they can be when they have drunk, because I think traditionally, men, it takes quite a lot for them to really open up and become a bit more vulnerable. And I think women just do that naturally. I think they're able to wear their hearts on their sleeves more, I think. Overall,
and you do absolutely see that in this film, especially with Martin. You see him. Alcohol is the only way he seems to be able to open up to his wife, and while she likes that, she also doesn't quite understand what's going on. So she's welcoming this change in him, but at the same time she's like, oh, what's causing this change? And as time goes on, what I quite like is they never actually explain themselves to anybody. They're just doing this within their group of four, and what happens.
I'm really gutted I missed it.
It's good. I really enjoyed it. Like I say, I didn't think it was a film for me, because as a woman watching a film about four blokes just a bit older than me, that just sounds like my daily life.
Another glass of wine.
drunk 40-something men, 50-something men. That's my life. But no, it was really, really good, and I did engage with the characters. I think if you can engage with the characters to the level you can in this film, they can get away with quite a lot. Yeah.
So ultimately, what would you give it out of 10? It's called Another Round, in brackets, Druk. You can pronounce it better than me.
Druk. Well, you see, being from Orkney, we have Scandinavian roots, so we can do the whole sing-songy. So it's called Druk, which means drunk, basically. That's the Danish title, but it's being released in the UK as Another Round.
Right.
But I would give it, do you know what? I'm going to give it an 8.
Ooh, that could be your highest rating so far for Boys on Film.
No, I think Supernova I was persuaded to give a 9.
Oh, yes, that's right, yeah. My persuasion.
and I think that's fair, because I think Druk I wouldn't put up there with Supernova, but I would give it a 7.5 or an 8.
Excellent. That's great. Thank you so much, Dina. We're going to have more from you, obviously, over the coming weeks, because we've got so much content to get through. We've seen so many films at the LFF this year. It's been a really good one. And thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. We've got lots more coming. And of course, give us the thumbs up as well. Got to do the movements, the motions. Yeah, we'll see you next time. See you soon, Dina.